National Lore to the outside, goes up. They're all in line. Off and running in the Grade 1 Hollywood Futurity. And it's a good start, with Double Honor heading off to take the lead from the inside, joined by Arosa. Swiss Echo flashing speed 4 wide to the outside. Buttons and Moe's right in the firing line early. Real Quiet along the inside rail. Artax is gaining some ground. 2 back to the Cynic, who's got 5 to make up. Can Me gaining 3 wide. Behind that, John Bill 7 lengths off the pace early. Gap of 3 back to Doc Martin, and National Lore settling in at the back of the pack, 10 lengths off the lead. A quick quarter here, 22 and 3. Up the backstretch they go. Double Honor leads it ahead in front. Rosa pressing the pace in second. Swiss Echo right there a close third. Real Quiet along the inside, racing in fourth. Artax is racing nicely in fifth. 3 lengths off the pace. Then Can Me. John Bill starts his run on the extreme outside. Behind that comes Buttons and Moe's. Then it's the Cynic, a gap of 3 back to Doc Martin. And yet to do his best running National Lore with a dozen to make up. Half mile in 45 and 4. A quick tempo here into the far turn. Double Honor scoots clear by 2 now. Artax in hot pursuit second. Real Quiet up the inside rail. Long shot Can Me. Arosa and Swiss Echo are backpedaling, passed by Buttons and Moe's. John Bill set down for the drive. Doc Martin coming out. Here comes National Lore revving up from the back of the pack. Top of the stretch now. Double Honor set down for the drive. Tackled by Real Quiet to the outside, and Artax gearing up down the center of the racetrack. Real Quiet, here comes Artax on the outside. Double Honor at the rail. Real Quiet has forged a short lead. Artax on the outside. Real Quiet in front. Artax not getting to him late. Real Quiet winning the Hollywood Futurity. Real Quiet one of the link to Artax, and coming late for third was National.
With Indian Charlie, which right now is the odds-on favorite. Odds have been changing as we've been going from the top of the show. And Indian Charlie is the favorite at the moment, ridden by Hall of Fame jockey Gary Stevens. And a look at that post parade, and a better look at Gary Stevens. Trained by Bob Baffert, is Indian Charlie, owned by Hal Earnhardt and John Gaines.
And his trainer says he's the most talented horse in the race. He had a great workout this week. He's going to try to become the first horse to win the Santa Anita Derby with only 3 career starts.
There is Indian Charlie. Next to Indian Charlie, well, I guess you can't have a Santa Anita Derby without a horse trained by D. Wayne Lucas. Skeeping, owned by Bob and Beverly Lewis, and today ridden by David Flores.
And Wayne Lucas running a horse in the Santa Anita Derby for the 20th consecutive year. He's got the most wins in this race with 4, but he hasn't won the Santa Anita Derby since 1988.
A Florida-bred horse, Orville and Wilbers. Owner, Thoroughbred Corporation, trained by Wally Delasse and ridden by his son-in-law, Corey Nakatani.
And he's owned by a Saudi Arabian prince, Joe. He's named after a restaurant that's named for the Wright brothers.
And a restaurant that's in nearby Manhattan Beach. How about number 4, breaking from the middle of the field, National Lore, a bit over his head. Owner, trainer, Myung Kwan Cho, the jockey, Renee Douglas.
And this horse is over his head. He's run 14 times the most of any horse in this race. He's still looking for his first career victory.
Well, one of the changes as we got ready for the Santa Anita Derby, the jockey for Classic Cat. Frank Alvarado will ride Classic Cat instead of Eddie Delahousse, who took ill and off his mounts for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and he'll be taking blinkers off today, Joe, in an effort to get him to relax off the speed a little bit. This is the same trainer who won the '83 Kentucky Derby with Sonny's Halo.
Here's Artax, the morning line favorite, slipped a bit, current odds 3-1. As you see the career for Artax, one of the best.
He is a gorgeous horse. He's the biggest horse in the race. He weighs more than 1,200 pounds.
And from the outside is Real Quiet, ridden by Kent DeSormo, trained again by Bob Baffert and owned by Mike Pegram.
And Mike Pegram is one of Bob Baffert's original owners coming into the thoroughbred game. I love the way this horse is trained this week. He'll make plenty of noise at the finish with a lively pace.
So there you go, a look at the post parade and a look at the field for the 61st running.
Complete the lineup for the Derby. Real Quiet going in. All set for a start in the Grade 1 Santa Anita Derby. Field sent on their way. They all came away perfectly. Orville and Wilbers, 2 from the rail, goes up to lead them early with Indian Charlie at the rail showing good speed as well. And Artax nice and relaxed today. Artax in the black cap now running up third. Alongside of him is Skeeping, and then back to Classic Cat down at the rail. National Laws alongside of him, and Real Quiet trails the field early, but no more than 5 lengths from first to last. Past the 7/8 pole they go, and Kori Nakatani has Orville and Wilbers winging out here. Orville and Wilbers going fast. He's opened up by 3. Indian Charlie quite content to track him second, and Chris McCarron and Artax at third. They now 5 lengths off that leader. Skeeping has to get a tap on the shoulder to keep up at the fast pace. Skeeping in 4th. Here's Real Quiet and Kenta Sormo in the red colours. They racing in 5th, 6 lengths off the leaders. Then Classic Cat and National Law is last, 10 off them. A half mile to run in the Santa Anita Derby, and Orville and Wilbers continues to lead them by a length. Indian Charlie right there in second, and Indian Charlie now breathing down Orville and Wilbers' neck as they go into the turn. And Artax has a good spot third if he's good enough from there. Chris McCarron starting to ask Artax to respond now. Real Quiet is hard-ridden but not doing enough. A 1/4 mile to go, and Indian Charlie hits the front, and he looks strong. Indian Charlie opening up now to lead by 2. Artax, Real Quiet trying to get involved. Lays Orville and Wilbers can find no more. It's Indian Charlie in full flight for the wire. Real Quiet chasing him out. It's a 1-2 finish for Bob Baffert, but it's Indian Charlie and Gary Stevens. Too good in the Santa Anita Derby. Indian Charlie, Real Quiet second.
Bob Baffert, and why not? Indian Charlie, the unofficial winner at 147, tying a stakes record. We didn't know if that would happen here this afternoon with the condition of the track, with rain pounding down here at Santa Anita Park. The 147 tying the stakes record set by Lucky Debonair in 1965. That has been tied by Indian Charlie, and we take you back to the stretch run.
Terrific race here by Indian Charlie. Gary Stevens puts him on the lead as they turn into the stretch. He goes past Orville and Wilbers. Artax is the horse on the outside in the red silks. He just cannot keep up with this horse. I thought Kenta Sormo rode a brilliant race on Real Quiet. He saved ground. He comes out here trying to chase the leaders, but Indian Charlie way too tough. He proved much the best today.
Well, it went about like we mapped it out, Jay. You know, Indian Charlie just kept on running. He was too much horse today. Very clean run race.
Indian Charlie, he was the favorite on the internet poll. He ends up the winner of the 61st running of the Santa Anita Derby. Unofficially, we'll come back with the official results. For the official results here in the 61st running of the Santa Anita Derby, the winner, Indian Charlie, paying $560, $340, and $260, and a time of 147. Placing Real Quiet, paying $360 and $260, showing Artax paying $260, the exacta $920 to $1.7, and the trifecta $791 paying $218.50. Let's take you now down.
To have known he'd be so much a part of the tradition of the Kentucky Derby and will be forever. One of the great moments in sports. Now the post parade. Number 1 is National Lore. This is a horse who has never won a race. He's been to the post 15 times, but he's won over $250,000. Number 2 is a real contender, Real Quiet. Mike Pegram owns him. He's one of the Bob Baffert horses. Kenta Sormo, coming into his own right now, had a great meeting at Santa Anita, won the jockey title. Hallery Hunter is number 3, the Zito Patino horse. They bring Kori Nakatani, one of the top jocks in the West, east to ride him. He won the Bluegrass Stakes with Gary Stevens up. Cholito comes out of Florida. The Britisher Graham Motion is the trainer. Gary Boulanger gets his first Derby mount. This horse won the Flamingo, speed horse. Hanneman Highway is an Irish bred. Kathy Walsh becomes the 8th woman to saddle a Derby starter. David Flores in from California for the ride. Number 6 is Favorite Trick. 9 wins, and then the 3rd in Arkansas. Pat Day has ridden every one of his races. Bill Mott, the trainer, elected to the Hall of Fame earlier this week. Number 7 is Indian Charlie, the other Baffert entry. He is ridden by Gary Stevens. This horse is green. He's raced 4 times, won all 4, including the Santa Anita Derby. Number 8 is Rock and Roll. The Diet Queen Jenny Craig and Madeline Paulson, the wife of Alan Paulson, decided they wanted a Derby starter. They bought this horse. His total lifetime earnings to this point, $46,000. Parade Ground is number 9. Will Farish is the chairman of Churchill Downs. The owner of the horse, Neil Howard, trains him. Number 10 is Cape Town, the Lucas horse. The Lucas-Bailey connection. It doesn't get any better than that. Won the Florida Derby when Lil's Lad was disqualified. Number 11 is Artax. Figures to be near the front. Randy Bradshaw, a Lucas protege, is the trainer. Chris McCarron is the jockey. Number 12 will be Victory Gallop. We talked with Elliot Walden before. The Walden family seeing their first Derby starter. Alex Solis comes east to ride him. He's won 5 of his 7 lifetime starts. Old Trieste with a tremendous workout last week. Another speed horse, figures to go right to the front, trained by Mike Pipey. Robbie Alvarado is the jockey. And then the field horses, basic trainee, John Velasquez is the jockey. Jorge Romero is the trainer. And Robin Wood, the final horse in the field. Early Fires gets his 6th Derby mount, but it's the first time Early Fires has been a jockey in the Kentucky Derby since 1974. What a story. The field of
86 pounds, quarter-mile run to the finish line, and then once more around. And they're off in the Kentucky Derby, and Old Trieste stumbled at the start but recovers quickly. Jolito on the inside takes the early lead, and Favorite Trick is right there, and Rock and Roll up with the early leaders. Old Trieste in the middle of the racetrack has recovered and is right up with the early leaders, passing us for the first time. It's Old Trieste on the outside, and at the rail it's Rock and Roll, and the long shot Rock and Roll with Francisco Torres has it by a head. Old Trieste challenges. Cholito is racing in 3rd. Indian Charlie is 4th. Pat Day with Favorite Trick hugs the rail in 5th, saving some ground around that turn. Real Quiet is next. Then comes Robin Wood. Then on the outside, it's Cape Town, Hanneman Highway. On the outside, that's Artax with the red and black colors. 3 lengths farther back, Basic Trainee. And then that final group of horses, Parade Ground, Hallery Hunter. Along the inside, National Lore. And at the back of the pack, it's Victory Gallop, who's 15th and last. They race down the backstretch after a half mile in 45.75, and now Old Trieste has drawn clear by 3 lengths. Rock and Roll is second. Cholito is moving up, and Indian Charlie with Gary Stevens, a bold move on the outside there. There goes Indian Charlie with the red cap moving quickly into second position. They're on the turn. It's Old Trieste in front, and here comes Real Quiet, fastest of all with Kent DeSormo. Indian Charlie is between horses. Cape Town behind a wall of horses, and Favorite Trick at the rail is racing 5th. They're at the top of the lane in the Derby, and Real Quiet on the outside gets the lead. Indian Charlie is second, and Cape Town is racing 3rd, but gaining. Victory Gallop from far back is 4th, and moving up, Hallery Hunter is next. Down the stretch they come. Real Quiet leads it. Victory Gallop on the outside with a last desperate move. In the final stride, Real Quiet, Kent DeSormo. Yes, Real Quiet wins it. Bob Baffert, 2 in a row. On the outside, it was Victory Gallop who came from. Bob Baffert gets his second victory.
If you watch right here, this other horse has probably run about 10 to 12 times. This other horse has run 4 times, which is Indian Charlie on the inside and Real Quiet on the outside there. And it just came out there about the 8th hole. And I tell you, if you remember last year, Alex Solis lost a photo in the Kentucky Derby, and I'll be darned if it happened again. That's 2 times.
How scared I thought about when he wanted to get out to the front.
DeSormo biding his time early in the race, and that figured. And Real Quiet, he was very happy with the post position. Baffert said it couldn't have worked any better for this horse. All we wanted was for him to save ground early, so they chose post number 3 for him, a great ground-saving post. And then DeSormo was able to work him out of trouble and cleanly around the first turn and down the backside, and then picked the optimum moment and swung him to the outside and brings him home for the victory.
Just rode a beautiful race. I tell you, I'd give $1 million to be in this spot right now.
Indian Charlie is indeed 3rd as they've looked at the photo. Hallery Hunter winds up 4th, and Kent DeSormo, the happiest guy in the state of Kentucky, aboard Real Quiet and on his way to the winner's circle. So a $17,000 purchase. Kent Sormo.
And they're off. Kelly Kipp bounces out to the lead quickly, but here comes Brushed On. Brushed On gets to the front. Kelly Kipp is second, and Artax is sprinting. Third on the outside, 2.5 lengths back, does well as fourth. And another 4 back to King Roller, who's already 10 lengths behind the leader. The leader is Brushed On, Kelly Kipp, and Artax. And those three are full throttle as they race into the far turn. Kelly Kipp's in front. Sparkling first quarter, 21-3. Kelly Kipp the leader. Artax right at his throat latch. And Brushed On now tails off into third. A break of 6 to does well. And another 7 back to King Roller. Coming to the top of the stretch. Kelly Kipp holding in the narrow lead. Over Artax as the field turns for home. Kelly Kipp the leader. 3/4 of a length. Artax has him in his sights as they make the turn into the stretch. A spectacular half mile of 43-3. It's Kelly Kipp holding on to the lead, and he's confidently ridden by Jean-Luc Samyn. He's stealing a peep back to see that Artax is still 2.5 lengths behind. Farther back, Brushed On is third. A spectacular performance by Kelly Kipp. He sprints under the line to win by 3, and the final time was 1:07 and 2/5 seconds. Kelly Kipp has just broken his own track record.
The most bizarre racing moment of 1999 took place on the track at Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore, Maryland on Preakness Day. The horses were in the stretch of the Grade 3 Maryland Breeders' Cup Handicap, the 7th race on the card that featured the second Jewel of Racing's Triple Crown. Suddenly, a man appeared on the racetrack. He'd climbed over the fence in the infield, went across the turf course, and then stood in the center of the track as the field charged towards him. Watch now as he'll take a swing at the 4-5 race favorite Artax, actually hitting jockey George Chavez on the boot. Artax, badly bothered by the incident, finished 5th, all betting money refunded. Arrested, 22-year-old Lee Chang Farrell, who told police he was trying to commit suicide. He was charged with reckless endangerment, disorderly conduct, trespassing, and resisting arrest. Mr. Farrell's legal proceedings continue, with the latest hearing held in November in the Maryland courts.
Ready for the start. And they're off. Lexicon breaks in stride from his outside post. Here comes the filly. Enjoy the Moment streaking toward the lead, and Forestry is right there. So too Successful Appeal and Europe Stravinsky. And Artax up with the leaders now, moving down the backstretch. Enjoy the Moment flaunting her speed, but Artax is coming to take her on right from the beginning. Successful Appeal is third. Stravinsky sprints up on the inside fourth. Forestry is now running in fifth. And then it's Kona Gold 6 toward the inside. Vicker makes his way through. Between horses now 7th. The First Success is racing in 8th. And then it's Son of a Pistol 9th by 3. Lexicon is 10th, followed by Big Jack 11th. Good and Tough is running in 12th. And farther back it's Wiggle Thunder and Furlough, the last of them all. First quarter went in 22 seconds flat. They're coming to the top of the stretch, and Artax has come away with the lead. It is Artax who turns for home. Stravinsky is right there. Stravinsky on the outside. Kona Gold is coming up the fence. Successful Appeal and Forestry fighting hard down the center of the track. Big Jack still 7 lengths behind him. Good and Tough. 1:16 from the finish line. It is Artax in front. Here comes Kona Gold with the final surge as they come down to the line. Here's the winner. Artax has done it. Artax the winner by a head. Kona Gold second. Big Jack closed well to be third. And there is Artax with Jorge Chavez aboard, enjoying a big day here. Artax the winner of the sprint, and the time was 1:07 and 4. That equals Mr. Prospector's track record. Wow.